Yes, Maria.
Okay, welcome everyone to this live stream. If those of you who are watching later, please understand if there's some technical difficulties, things like that. You'll always have something uploaded, at least there'll be 1 to 3 live streams a week. You'll always have something uploaded for some sort of practice if there's some technical issue, so that you have something. And then of course there's the regular course stuff. And I just want to address the concept of overwhelm. I know a couple of you have posted that. No one's saying you need to know everything right now. No, this isn't elementary school, middle school, high school, where they give you the stuff and you have a test. I'm not going to be sending you a test to fill out or anything like that. So the only one doing that to you is you. So, but look at that, look at, I gave a lot of things up front. I tend to do that not to say, I'll let you know if there's something you need to know for a particular, but that's what the practice of yoga, you don't need to know anything outside of what you want to know. And in terms of looking at where that comes from, where is the fear? Where is the worry? Where is the, where is that inner, what is that inner voice really saying? When, you join a course like this, or when you get something and you look at everything and you start to say, oh my God, forget it. I can't know all of this. And you just might give up. Some people might just give up when no one expected them. A lot of the times, that's part of the yoga. And I guess I'm a kind of teacher that tends to weed out the ones not ready for the deeper practices. There's hundreds now, thousands of yoga teachers that will focus on maybe just the asana, or teach you some breathing but not explain why, or not relate to a deeper understanding of getting you to your max potential outside of the physical form. I happen to be a teacher that was blessed enough to learn there's so much more. And we're at a time right now where we need all that other stuff. So if I tend to be more of show you the mirror, if I tend to, let you see your vulnerabilities, it's out of love and it's not of judgment. So I want everyone to understand that in my classes, in my teachings, in my courses, you will get a bunch of info, and that's all for you to digest over the whole entire course. And let me know where you're having your struggles. And it's not to set you up for failure or put you in a place where you cannot do. I know what you can do. I know the students that get attracted to me and the universe finds for me and they find me for them. Yoga is just way bigger. And if you give it a chance and you open yourself up for it, you'll see it in a matter of weeks. So that's my little spiel. We're going to practice today on all of these classes in this 8 weeks are going to be really trying to strengthen your fundamentals. If you're a more advanced practitioner, I would say that's where you should always go. You should always make sure you go back to your basics, make sure, especially as you get more into practicing, with anything you do, it becomes routine. We have a tendency to turn off a little place in our brain, especially if it's our deeper limbic system or our deeper brain. If we're getting into things rising, we like to sort of close that off, and we might say, no, don't want to go there. Or we may get distracted and get into the, just habits. So I know Maria was saying, who's on this particular stream with us right now, is saying she was looking at some of the materials for the hip work and noticing, some things that are tough to do. And she trained with me a while ago. So we all, and our bodies change. That's the beauty of the yoga. We can keep tabs on these little changes in our mindset, in our body. So again, we're not asking for perfection. In fact, we're trying to see that we already are perfect as we are and bringing ourselves to our max potential of realization of that. All right, so all of these classes will be really kind of honing in on not necessarily easy things, but basic things, so that if you know the basics, if you're strong in the basics, you can walk into any yoga class and know enough of yourself to be able to modify, even if the teacher's not. To be able to, you know, work on everything from how hot you are in that class, to how many calories you're burning, to how deep in a meditation you're making everything, to how well you can relax. So that's what I hope to give to you through these classes and through this course. All right. Any questions so far? Good? All right. All right, so let's begin with being in an upright posture, comfortable in your body, okay? And if there is discomfort somewhere, if there is dis-ease in some way going on, don't fear it. Look at it for a moment, breathe there for a moment, okay? Try your best not to place yourself in a situation where you're just, you know, you're ignoring pain. Pain is our friend, not our foe. So it lets us know something's not quite right. But I will say that sometimes the pain's not as debilitating as it might initially feel. So that's why I say stay with it a minute, breathe into it a minute. If there's some discomfort, just check as you're breathing, head to toe. If you're highly distracted by your eyes, close your eyes. If there's noise around, maybe clear that noise. Okay, watch the breath. We're going to inhale. As we inhale, we actually want the ribs to open up. And as we exhale, we want to let them go. Inhaling, open up. And notice I'm focusing on getting that width. Exhale, release. So you don't have to necessarily have your hands how I'm having, but it's very helpful sometimes to just place your hands at your ribs so you can feel it, right? We get two senses. We get the sensation of both touch inside with the breath, and we get the outside sensation. Now, if that's distracting, hands at heart, Pranamasana, that's fine. And then if you're mobile enough in your shoulders, you can place the back of your hand on your low back, on your lower ribs, and the front right underneath, like where your stomach starts, where your esophagus ends, at the bottom of the ribs, and start to breathe there. Notice if you can have expansion widthwise, front to back as well. A lot of people don't. But if you learn that art, if you can kind of direct your vision, your internal mirrors to the back of your spine and allow that expansion to occur, even if you're just visualizing it in your brain right now, it's fine, because you're letting your body and your mind and the brain itself, you know, the physical mind aspect of the brain itself, you're letting that connect with your breathing. You're letting it have potential. You're seeing that there's something that can happen. And if you learn to breathe that way, you can just spend some time breathing. In fact, pranayama is one of the limbs of the yoga we'll be practicing. It's actually technique. It's actually yoga itself, just the breathing. It's what we get our life force from. What helps cleanse us, helps focus us. So if you can get that in a normal breathing pattern and use that then while you're moving the rest of your body, you're going to get a lot more spinal mobility, a lot more movement through your spine and your torso. You're going to massage your inner organs for health, especially up in the top. We have the liver on the left. A liver on the right, the stomach on the left, the spleen, the pancreas underneath the liver, the gallbladder, the stomach, all the intestines, the colon, which actually wraps around and drops back a little bit as it's descending on your left. So think about that. Think about all that health just from the breathing, just from allowing, and I'm going to kind of exaggerate, but okay? All that movement, all that potential to just massage that just from the breathing. This is clearing our toxins, and this can be very easily done while at a red light in the car, right? This could be done while waiting online for something. So we're going to spend the next 30 seconds now totally quiet while you breathe. Feel free to get in a different comfortable posture. You're welcome to be sitting in a chair if you need to. Okay, here we go. Concentrate on letting go so that there's room for the next inhale. Upright spine, relaxed low back. Take your last inhale and exhale, completely cleansing breath. So the cleansing breath, we let go of our jaw, we let everything come out. Good. So welcome to yourself now. That's all it takes. Just in the beginning of your practice, you can just roll out your mat, take a few minutes on that prana, moving that pranayama. A few minutes to just see where your body's at the moment. And let's begin in stand, moving ourselves. So we're going to be at the front of our mat, okay? And you can just use the audio. Don't worry if you can't see the screen. In fact, if you learn to just sort of hear my voice and do the best, and you can check in on the screen to check if you're I don't want to say doing it right, but if you were paying attention, okay? Our feet are going to be about hip width apart. I know in some practices they bring the toes together. Right now we're not. Just about your hip width apart. Widen your toes. Okay, so I'm going to show you my feet. Okay, so that big toe, a lot of people, because of shoes, really tight. I want you to manually, literally, if your toes cannot spread, this will be something that I couldn't do my first day on the mat, and now there's no problem. So it's going to take a while. But literally, stick your fingers and spread out those toes so they're not touching. You want to feel what that feels wide, and it may be a bit uncomfortable. Again, watch that pain threshold. If you can't breathe, if you can't think of anything but that body sensation, no matter if you're trying to focus on the breath, you're beyond the comfort zone and the threat zone. So you need to take it back and be in a different zone. I don't necessarily want you unchallenged, but you want to be finding that right at that edge where it's doable. Okay, fingertips are going to be at our sides. So our palm, Simastitihi is the pose I like to use. Palms forward, so showing you that. To call attention to our front body. Again, watch that breath in this pose. How's it changed? Bringing our arms overhead, palms are facing each other, reaching up towards the sky. Ground the heels into the floor. At the same time, let your crown reach up towards the heavens. So we're getting really long through the spine. Our fingertips are reaching. Our heart is opening. So you may need to open up your hands from each other to feel that chest lifting. Sometimes with our tightness, we cannot do that. We need to open up the arms. We don't quite have the shoulder range just yet, or the chest range just yet. The sound is ah. I want you to make it from your depth. So I want you to really feel it from your deep belly, and I want you to welcome that connection between the sky, between the heavens, and your heart. Imagine there's a little bridge there, and you're welcoming it with the sound of ah. Here we go. Inhale. Ah. Notice that power, bringing your hands down towards the floor again, Simastirahi. One more time, grounding with the floor. So now the crown's going to be welcoming energy from the top. The floor is going to be welcoming energy from the bottom. Your fingertips are going to be absorbing it from all around you. The color you can bring into this is red if you'd like, and see where it collects in your body afterwards for a few moments of silence. Inhale. Ah. Hands over your heart. We'll take the first pose beyond this into warrior one. So you want to take your right leg back. Your left leg is in front. And the warrior pose, let me just show it for a moment in case you're new. Okay. We want to have about a 45-degree reach out from the back. Our goal would be 90 degrees in the front. But again, this might be in your mind right now. You might be stiff, right? We just don't want it to be a triangle. We don't want it to be straight. The pelvis is forward as best as possible. So if you're perpendicular to the screen right now and you're facing it with your pelvis, you're in warrior two. You need to be turned towards the front of your mat. So you might want to widen your base of support, take that right foot and spread it out a little bit because you might not have the leg into hip mobility. And that's okay. That's why we're working on this. But don't hurt yourself. Also watch that back foot. We want that back foot to be turned inwards, toes towards the front, about 45 degrees. If you have that. If not, 60 degrees, not 90. Not in my practice. Not healthy for the hip in my mind. Okay? Hands at heart. Sound is you. Color is green. You. Taking ourselves to the other side, just turn yourself to the back of the mat. Left leg becomes the back one, right leg becomes the front one. Second sound, you. Inhale, you. And then facing the front of our mat again. So this is just us tuning ourselves up, okay? Before you play a beautiful symphony, you see the orchestra tuning up their instruments, right? You see everybody tuning up to the sounds in the room and so that everything's at its max potential for the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sound of everything coming together. So in Tadasana, our hands are in Pranamasana, or hands at the heart. We're going to be at the front of our mats. Our legs are nice and wide. Our toes are nice and wide. We're breathing nice and big. Not hard, just without that resistance. So the throat is quiet, the ears are quiet, the jaw's quiet. Inhale, arms up again. This time the hands stay together if they can. If this is uncomfortable on your shoulders, Please don't shove your shoulders past where the comfort zone is. You can be reaching straight out just fine, okay? You can be reaching straight out and it be just fine. Inhale, reach the heart 1 more inch towards the sky. Exhale, we're taking our first forward fold. So soften your knees as you forward fold. Don't have straight knees right now. You don't have to be sitting in a chair, but you don't want to lock them out. And you're going to work here. Now, if you have any blocks or old books that you could wrap up in some paper and place or wrap up with some twine, they can be your blocks. They bring the floor up to you. I don't want you hanging here, okay? I want you grounded, either on fingertips on your thighs or soften your knees enough to get the fingertips at least on the floor. Eventually, we want our palms flat. Now, everybody's going to have a tendency to look up at the screen right now. Try not to. Let the crown of your head reach out of your spine and towards the floor. You can hear my voice, so just keep breathing. Try to see if you can bring that breath to some of those spaces that you had done earlier. Right? That spine breathing. Maybe a little cleansing breath. And we're going to soften our knees until our thighs and our chest can touch. Okay? And we're going to let ourselves go into chair pose. Okay? Utkatasana. So reaching in front of us. Try not to be up in your neck. If your neck's really short, I need you to bring your hands down so that you pull those shoulders down. Otherwise, you're reaching forward, palms are down. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold 1 more time. So we're just going to practice this for a few breaths. Bend the knees, inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. And if you have to take a couple breaths there, that's fine. Obviously, I've been practicing. My breaths are longer. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. If this is making you dizzy, please don't fold too much. Maybe inhale, lift for the modification. Exhale, hands down to your thighs and come up. Okay, so that's a modification if you're feeling dizzy. You can inhale, lift, exhale, come up. So those of you in forward fold, you're going to go right leg, step back into lunge. Now notice I can drop here in my hips. Try not to. Push that energy out your back leg. Push energy into your front leg. In fact, you should try to make that diagonal line, beautiful diagonal line. No curves, okay? Not until we work on that. Now, let the knee come down. See if you can touch the floor with that right leg without pulling your leg forward. If you cannot, this is another good place for a block or those books. Because we want to lengthen this front body, right? If we come forward, we're only going to be shortening it. And then those of you who know Kapyasana preparation, take whatever Kapyasana preparation you want. I'm going to take you through the basic today. So we're just going to see if we can get our hands up. If we cannot, if it's too much into the rest of the body, then don't. Work on lifting your chest. Maybe here's where your blocks are. Right? Maybe work on flattening the back foot from being up to down. Breathe. From here, we're going into Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. So pull the hips back. Again, see, nothing else is moving. My hips are reaching back. You're going to feel a pull in the back of your left thigh, buttock area. Your knee may also stay bent. That's fine. Try not to push your front toe down. It's just going to tighten the back leg. Relax that ankle. Let it do whatever it's going to do. It might roll right off the mat. Eventually, you want to be kissing your knee. Okay? You don't want to be sitting back in your heel. You will feel a stretch, but you're avoiding where you really need it, which is to open up that pelvis. Open up those hips. Breathe. Coming back forward into your Kapayasana preparation or your deep lunge. Again, try not to just hang. There's weight going in my foot. There's weight going in the front so that I'm not just hanging. I'm controlling the support as I ease down. On your next exhale, Ardha Hanumanasana. So we're just going to take that through our breath. Inhale, forward, lift the heart. Exhale, release back. Let go of the spine, let go of the back of the leg on the left. Inhale, one more. If this is bothering your right kneecap, you can always put a block right under the knee, right on the top of that lower leg, and make the kneecap not even have any pressure on it. Back, Ardha Hanumanasana, last one. Bring it forward. We're gonna end here in that deep lunge. We're gonna bring that right leg forward into forward fold again. Shake all the woulda, coulda, shouldas off of your head and neck. Inhale, lift your spine halfway. So we're gonna lift our spine so that we look like a corner of a box as best as possible. Exhale, fold. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale, soften the knees if you need to. Exhale, release. Look to lift the entire spine. Inhale, last one. Bend the knees, exhale, chair pose just like before. Inhale all the way up, standing up, reaching the sky just as we began. Exhale, heart center. Sun salutation. So the sun salutation, we're gonna move through it twice and then we'll do what we just did on the left leg. So we're gonna inhale up through our arms. Arms are overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps back, just as we did. Left leg meets it this time. We're in a plank pose. So we're in a push-up pose. Give me 3 push-ups right there. Feel free to have your knees down as you need them. 1, 2, 3. Right leg steps forward, lunge pose. Left leg steps forward, forward fold. Hug your legs. Inhale, lift up and out of the body. So you want to lift that spine up and out of the body. And heart center. Inhale up through the arms. 1 more sun salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway this time through the spine, adding that in. Exhale, fold. Right leg steps back into lunge. Left leg meets it into plank. Give me 3 push-ups. 1, 2, 3. Don't worry if you don't get to the floor. Right leg steps forward. Left leg into forward fold. Hug your legs. Pull up and out of the body. Reach, 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 reach. Heart center. Good. So we're just going to do what we did the other time on our left leg. So left leg steps back, warrior 1. Pelvis is coming forward as best as possible. Do not bend that back knee. Push that energy. You got to wake up your left butt up, that back leg. Okay, we don't want to hang in our low back. We don't want to be like hanging backwards. That's not what we're doing here. You may do that in another class. We're not doing this here. Okay, the movement needs to come at the hip. We don't want to avoid it. Even if we're up high, we don't want to avoid it. Arms are reaching up. See if you can touch them. If not, a strap is great. You can pull on a strap. You can pull the strap and it'll start opening up the chest without needing to worry about the shoulders as much. Straight up over your head. Exhale, bring ourselves down to the floor. Lunge that pose. So you're lunging through the back leg. Again, trying to line up your front knee over the ankle. Seeing where you're at, it doesn't have to be perfect. You may not have the movement yet, but it should not hurt. It might be uneasy, it might be difficult, but if you cannot breathe, then you're beyond your pain level there. You need to be able to breathe. Drop the back knee. Let that knot just hang, right? We still have some control here. Feel free to use blocks. If you have a version of Kapyasana preparation, take that. Otherwise, we're working on the basics again, reaching the heart away from the belly. Letting the back leg relax down versus be up. Breathing, watching the center space between the eyes, deep behind the eyebrows. Finding a place of ease, even amongst the physical body discomfort. Can we ease the mind? Can we let go of the breath? Can we take in the breath, the prana? Can we direct it to where we need support and guidance? Those of you more advanced can work towards lifting up off the floor with still support through the legs. Releasing that posture. Let the back knee come up, pushing through the hip, pushing through the back heel. Right leg meets the left in the back for plank pose. And let's take ourselves through the rest of the sun salutation. Knees come down. Hips go back. So we're going to add the last bit of the sun salutation and then we'll bring it all together for these 2 or 3. So what we're doing here is like a child's pose. If your hips are very stiff, if there's not much movement there, just open up your knees for now and let yourself get some more movement because we do want to just rest here. Forehead should be on blocks or the floor. If your shoulders are tight, they're wide. Okay, hands are away from the sides. Think of that beginning breath when we're breathing out the back of the body. It'll come in handy now. Especially the letting go. Don't just fill. Let the belly, let the chest, let the throat, the jaw, the pelvic floor go. When you inhale, the pelvic floor expands. Your 2 sit bones separate. As you exhale, they come back towards each other. You don't have to necessarily pull in. That's just happening if you watch it and let go. Inhale, open the pelvic floor. Let it drop and reach and widen. Exhale, let it dome. Good. Bring the hands back in front of you. We're going to guide ourselves to knees, chest, chin. Okay, so let me show it once. You can take a look. If you know it, do it on your own. Hands are going to be active. This tells my shoulders I'm taking weight. I'm going to glide myself without putting my elbows down as close to the floor as I can and ease onto my belly. Okay? Cobra pose. Feet are coming towards each other. If you have low back issues, you keep it a little wider, but you're still squeezing the inner thighs. Eventually, the big toes touch. The knees lift with the feet staying down. You reach up and out of your chest. Roll the shoulder blades down the spine. Hands are next to the heart. Cobra. Pulling back to that child's pose. Breathe out, push back, pull back the belly. Ha. Let's try that a few times. Knees, chest, chin. If you know this, just go on your own roll. You don't have to wait for me. Inhaling, ground the feet, lift the knees, squeeze the inner thighs, lift the heart up and out. Reach it out of the pelvis. Forward, 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 and up. Exhale, pull back through the navel towards the tail. Child's pose. Again. Inhaling, lift up, exhaling, pull back. Now, if you can hold the exhale, you can hold at the end of the exhale while you're going forward. Do the next 3 as that. Otherwise, just keep it inhale, exhale. So at the end of my exhale here, exhale. I would hold that before the inhale as I glide forward. On my belly, I inhale. Up to cobra. Exhale back. Hold that breath as you lean forward onto your belly, knees, chest, chin. Inhale up. Exhale back. So again, that's just a challenge point. If you can, controlling the prana as you move through. After your third one, let's try to make it a downward facing dog. So your next push back from cobra, we're gonna go into downward facing dog, tuck the toes, pull the hips up, reach up and back. Now notice my tail to my crown. We're trying to get 45 degrees. You may have to soften your knees for that. Right leg steps forward. Left leg. Hug your legs. Inhale up. Heart center. Let's take the full sun salutation now, 5 times. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Let's add the lift to the spine halfway. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Give a pull to those legs. Right leg steps back. Left leg, flank pose. Knees are down, hips come back like a child's pose. Keep your hands right where they are. Pull the hips away. Hold that exhale. Come forward onto your belly. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale up. Cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg. Lunge pose. Left. Hug those legs. Inhale up and out. Heart center. Again, inhale. Exhale, fold. This time, lift your spine. And we're going to take the left leg back first. Hug it, forward fold. Left leg, open the heart. Don't stay curved. Right leg, you should be nice and flat. Long plank. Knees down, hips back. Stretch the hips. Inhale up through your cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Left leg. Right leg. Hug. Up and out. Heart center. Again, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Right leg. Left leg. Knees down, hips back. Knees, chest, chin. So you're coming close. Do not touch that belly till the chest and chin. And then the belly, feet flip. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Lift up and back. Push through the hands, the knuckles. Right leg. Left leg. And up. Heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Left side this time. Lift halfway. Hug your legs. Left leg. Open the spine. Right leg. Knees down, hips back. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Left leg. Right leg. Hug and up. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, fold. Right leg. Left leg. Bring yourself down into the floor and back into your child's pose. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg. Left leg. Hug, 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 and then pull up. Reach out of the body. Ground those feet. Use those thighs. Squeeze them. Lift the energy all the way up. Heart center. Good. So we're going to take 1 or 2 twists. Okay? So everyone down to the floor for some floor work. All right. So if you can't get to the floor, you can be on your bed. You just want it to be a little firmer, so I recommend you maybe put some folded towels underneath the sheets so that there's a little bit less give, okay? You could also sit on a rolled up mat. You roll up the mat, place it under your seat, then you'll angle your pelvis a little easier. If you find you're hunched a lot, that may help you lift up. It's not to do the work for you though. You need to still actively lift yourself up and out. Again, think of all these organs that are in there. This isn't healthy to sit like this. You're compressing your lungs, right? It's like a slow choking, all right? So roll your shoulders back. Try to get that motion. You want to try to get the shoulder blades. A lot of people with their tension up in their neck, their shoulder blades are like fused to the ribs. They should be able to move. Good. And if you need your feet to be a little bit away from your body, that's fine. You can be in what we call Baddha Konasana, where you have some support under your thighs and you have your feet together. Or you can be in easy pose, Siddhasana, that's fine. We're going to move the pelvis. We're going to unstick the spine from the pelvic bowl. So your sit bones should not be rocking back and forth during this. Again, if you have some hip stuff going on, please raise your seat and let there be opening here in the hip joint. You can be doing this seated down in the chair as well with your feet planted on the floor. All right, so wherever you are, Baddha Konasana, Siddhasana, modification and sit. We're going to the right. As you go forward, you're exhaling. As you go back, you're inhaling. Keep the bowl steady. You're just lifting the spine and moving it as if I'm moving my spoon in a nice bowl of starting some nice fudge brownies, right? We're trying to mix all that up. Exhale forward, inhale back to the right. Go, exhale. Inhale. Try to do it through the nose. Only go as fast and as wide as you can control the pelvis. Last one. Okay, other way. So going the other way, we're inhaling. This time going forward, exhaling back. And rest. And just get your sorts about you. That's a Kundalini move. That's an energy rising move. If you're dizzy, take it slow. Relax your breathing. Lie down on your back with your legs up if you feel really dizzy. Get your sorts about you. Right? And go a little easier next time because you may not normally breathe very deeply, and this is like a head rush. All right. So I'd like to do Kapalabhati. Again, what are we doing? We're trying to get all this heat and movement and energy and circulation inside for our twists. So it comes from the belly. All right, we're going to puff the belly. If you just ate, do not do that before your yoga class with me. Okay? All right, take it easy if you did eat. All right, inhale. Fill up the belly, puffing it out the nose. Pull a little bit of Mula Bandha so that you're not pushing out your pelvic floor. It can only go up and out. Okay, here we go. Inhale. Hold the breath, but let go of any excess tension. So stop curling your toes, stop tightening your fists, stop tightening your jaw. Pelvic floor only needs a little bit of hold. Exhale. Completely. One more round. Here we go. Inhale. Little bit of Mula Bandha to cork that bottom. Puff. Let go. Okay, let's start our first twist. Left leg is out, okay? Right knee is bent. Again, if there's issues here, leave it as bent as it's comfortable. Work on pulling up your pelvis. This is a place where that lift up here might help because you'll be on the downhill. You can work through the spine. If you can, you cross the leg over the knee. Eventually, you'd get there, right? You'd get all the way up. Left arm comes up. We're twisting to the right. If you're pregnant, if there's too much soft tissue here, feel free to lift the right arm and twist to the left. But otherwise, you're twisting all the way around. See if you can get your elbow on the other side of that knee, stretching that side leg. Place your right hand behind your hip as close as possible. Now lift the spine. Legs are connected in this pose, right? Push them down, squeeze in. The same thing as when you stand. Take that energy from the legs, ground it, reaching out of the heels, lift it up the spine. Now do your meditation. Watch the space between the eyes. Be breathing. Bring in the whole techniques of all of this class. Pick one. You don't have to do them all together. Once you're in your space, maybe you watch the breath. Maybe you direct the breath. Maybe you just watch the space between your eyes and you just let the body, you watch it from the witness standpoint, move at ease. If you want to go a little further, give that force again through the arms, through lifting the spine, reaching out of the legs, floor to top. And you move, maybe even holding your breath for a moment till you get that new space, and then you do your meditation. Two more breaths, starting with the next inhale. Eventually, you get that hand to the opposite hip. Release. All right, other side. So loosen up that leg a little bit. Let it be straight. Other leg, same pose. Now you may notice one leg needs to be in a little different position, away from the other thigh. Maybe this one can't quite go across. See yourself in your max potential always, but work to your edge. Pushing the feet into the floor, lifting up your inner thighs, up the spine, right? Energy's the same no matter what pose, moving through. Exhale as you twist, opposite side. Moving yourself all the way around. Left hand, remember, is down by the hip. You're lifting it. You're using it for leverage to help get that energy from the outside in. And then you have that nice reach from the body and that lift up through Mula Bandha from the inside out. This is a beautiful way to move in union yoga, the outside forces of physics and the inside forces of physics that you're creating. The breath expands. Do your meditation. If you're working on this on your own, you can always bend the bottom leg as well for even more advanced practice in the physical pose. But there's plenty of advanced practice going deep in meditation with the body being with the legs straight. With you sitting in a chair and just twisting and getting into deep contemplative concentration. 2 more breaths. On your second exhale, unwind, release the pose. All right, last posture before we go into Savasana. We're going to be doing the bridge. So you're lying on your back. Your heels are by your hips. Again, if you're dealing with a knee problem, please honor that. Be where you need to be. Spine is down, hands are next to your body. You're looking at the sky. Shoulders are tucked back. We're taking bridge pose. Now, bridge pose is not about me reaching my belly button to the sky. It's about me taking the energy from my pelvis, pushing it down into my feet, taking the energy from my heart, pulling it down through my whole arms. That's going to lift the top of my chest towards my chin. That's going to lift my pelvis towards my knees. So that's the arc. Chest to chin, hips up towards the sky. And we're just there for breaths. If you need to, you can work on some range, some movement through a stiff spine or pelvis by placing some of those books or blocks underneath and just letting yourself weigh there and work through the front leg stretching or work through lifting the chest, especially if you have a curved forward posture. That's really nice because you can kind of split this and break this down to not have to work the whole entire spine at once. But I would eventually work towards lifting off of those blocks as well, a few breaths before you actually remove them and let them go, unless there's pain. 2 more breaths. Watch the space between your eyes. Exhaling, second exhale, you release or remove the blocks. And you're ready for Savasana, so just let those legs out. Maybe wiggle those hip joints. Let those thighs move in and out a little bit. Maybe roll those shoulders just a little bit. Open and close your jaw just a little bit. Little twist if you need it, just a little bit. Whatever it is you feel your body intuitively wants for the next 60 seconds or so, feel free. But you have to first listen, right? We don't want to just routinely, remotely just do habits that we just because that's our practice and we do them every day, because then we lose the connect, we lose the yoga. We might as well start doing calisthenics. They're not bad for the body, but they're not yoga. Calisthenics is in yoga, but they themselves are not the yoga. All right, 10 more seconds or so, finishing up whatever you're doing. You want your legs while you're lying there completely relaxed. Clear the space around you, clear the clutter. Let the legs be about the width of your mat. Let your arms be about the same or even wider. The idea in Savasana is to let the body go. It is a pose. It is a consciousness. It is the feeling that we hope, the freedom that we hope, the ease into just another state of consciousness, of being, that we hope happens in those last breaths of this life, where we are allowed to be at peace of mind while we let go of our attachment to this body, to this environment, to this role, to these roles that we have in this world. And so we practice that in Savasana. And if you go deep enough, if you feel safe enough, you may have an emotion pop up. You may have lots of thoughts. In fact, you definitely will have thoughts. That's that inner guru goddess trying to protect you from going too deep, letting go too much. But check her. Check that she's not being an over-diligent mama guru, right? That she's not actually hampering your growth by her own needs to protect. Talk to her. Tell her you're ready. that you feel strong enough, just the same way you might have done at some point with your own parents. Speak to her logic. And then send her love. Send her love for her struggles to disconnect that monkey mind. And then do your best to just watch the space deep between the eyes. If your eyes are open, one spot of focus. Otherwise, try to close them. Progress to actually letting go of the outside, needing to know and control what's coming at you from the outside world. Remember, yoga is a practice. Being in yoga is a discipline. You just need self-control. If anything else here, you're practicing self-control. No more movement. No more movement of the physical body. And as soon as I said that, I'm sure the mind made you want to really move. Again, that funny monkey mind. Reality, though, is an illusion. Your reality right now, when that happened, was hypervigilance, right? Exhale completely. Feel how that unweighs the body. Feel how that breath is separate from the heaviness of the physical form, that other level of self, the Annamaya presence. The outside, the bones, the muscles, let them go. Be the breath. Inhaling through the heart up to the center of the mind. Exhaling completely. So you can sense that physical form, but then you also sense you are not that physical form. You are the witness of that. You are not even the breath. You are the witness of your breathing, of that breath traveling in with the prana. You are vital. You are an essence, no boundaries. Concentrate. Let the body be by itself. Let go of the hips, pelvic region, and legs. Heavy, dead. Let go of the shoulders, the upper arms, hands, fingers, wrist, heavy, dead. Release the tail. Low back into the floor. Dead. Release the middle back, low back, upper back. But the abdomen, the chest is light, expansive. Ask the organs to rest. Release the neck and head, heavy, dead. Now, rest. Give yourself permission. Pay no mind to the thoughts. Notice and then let them go. Release the breath. Float.
Try to stay as the witness. Do nothing else. Slowly start to notice the breath through every cell. Notice how it starts to give you form in the body. Try your best not to just do something. Just watch. Watch the breath. It's already there doing its thing. You don't have to help it. You don't have to change it. As it gives you form, try to start connecting now. You can witness the shape, the feel of your skin, the clothes versus the floor around you. Maybe start some movement, noticing movement. Bring yourself to consciousness when you have your whole body stretched through it, long arms overhead. Bring yourself onto your side and eventually back up in seated pose. Hands at heart center. So this is the yoga. This is the moment we've been waiting for. This is the yoga. Notice it. This is today's yoga. Tomorrow's yoga might be different. Still yoga, but not exactly the same. Honor all the levels of the goddess inside. Thank the universe for allowing you to have this opportunity for peace, for health, for vitality, for connection. If not for yourself, for everyone that you're going to be able to help and service in the world. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the grace of God. I thank Sri Dharma Mitra. Yesterday was Guru Purnam. You celebrate your teacher. I thank all of my students for being my teachers, all of the clients and patients that I've worked with over the past years, couple decades now. Thank you, all my teachers, my parents, everyone I've come in contact with. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you on the next live stream tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. You can use the same codes, the same passwords. I'll be coming on in. Take care.
Thank you, Lisa.